We're back with the Ioniq 5. Now, if you've seen our other video, you would have seen that we absolutely love this car. It's the two-wheel drive that we reviewed in the previous video. This is the all-wheel drive. So it's going to be a shorter video, a little bit different to our normal long-form videos. But if you want to get into the nitty-gritty parts of the Ioniq 5 range, definitely go watch the other video because it will have all that information. This one's going to be more covering the specifics around the all-wheel drive system. The all-wheel drive version, as well as a couple of quirks that you get in the all-wheel drive or things that you miss out on versus the two-wheel drive. And just a quick look around this one because the interior is different on this versus the one that we reviewed previously, because this has a bit of a blended color scheme, which we really like on this as well. And stay tuned because you'll see the error that I made in my first video and I will correct that. Sorry if you watched the first video and realized that I made a mistake. I am human, but we've corrected it in this one. So really excited to get that underway. We'll start off with under the bonnet. So let me open that up. Moving around to the bonnet. Gas struts, easy to open. Not really much that you're gonna have to do under here. The biggest things that you're gonna have to do is obviously just keep an eye out on your liquids and levels. Things like your coolant, your windscreen washer fluid, all of that kind of stuff, just keep an eye on it. As you know with the previous video, the Ioniq 5 has a frunk, or a front trunk, front boot, a fruit, whatever you want to call it. From an EV perspective though, on the all-wheel drive, because it is another drivetrain that gets put into it, another set of motors, sorry, I should say. So you get your front and your rear motors. You now lose out on some space here with the front storage. So it is a little bit more restrictive to the point that I can't sit in it like I did in the rear wheel drive video. So that's just one consideration, that it will hold all your charging infrastructure and cables, but outside of that, you're losing out a little bit of storage there. One other thing that you're losing out on is you will also drop down in terms of your range. So you were going to go to a 430 kilometer distance out of the full charge versus about 450 to 455 on the rear wheel drive version. Now, it's not really a huge difference, and for most people, most of the drives that they're going to do are going to be more than adequate. I've just done a quick run to a regional town here in WA and back this morning. We did about 190 Ks and no issues, real quick, easy, nice drive. Styling on the front is really, really well designed, and as you have seen in my other videos and as you can see in here, it's my favorite part about this car is the overall design. You get these cube lights at the front, a light bar that extends the whole way across the front here, and it looks different to every other EV. It doesn't look like a normal car too much. It looks a bit more retro and almost a throwback to an era of, you know, kind of funky and fresh designs. So really good job there from Hyundai. On the front here, you do have a front parking camera and to assist. This forms part of a 360-degree camera system. So as you come around to the sides, you will also have a camera here on the wing mirrors on both sides and a camera on the rear. That will allow you to have a bird's eye view as well as a 3D view of your parking situation, helping you align your lines a little bit better and just make sure that nothing's around you when you're reversing or driving forwards. It does also have front and rear parking sensors, so it will allow you to park easily. And these beautiful 20-inch alloy wheels on the outside that are just a real nice design, and they complement the overall bodywork of the Ioniq 5. So overall, really nice car. Now, if you're following the Ioniq 5, you are going to be in for a treat. Check out these back tail lights and this overall design. It's all cubed, it's all retro and funky, and it just looks really, really cool. So once again, highly recommend you have a look at an Ioniq 5. Even if it's purely for the design, and then once you get in and have a drive, it's going to be phenomenal. Yes, I know what you're thinking, Dan, you can't order these. They are hard to get. But you know what? At some point, you will be able to order them. And when they do, they're limited releases through the website. And if you're one of the lucky few that manages to click on there and leave a reservation, you'll be all prepped by having gone and driven one and experienced the car. In terms of rear space, so what you have is a lift back because it is a hatch, and you have a tremendous amount of space. So as we come around through here, yes, I've got, you know, my boots, you know, some clothing, my drone, all in there. But you can see that it's a generous sized boot space. Suitcases, you're going to fit a couple of large suitcases as well as a medium-sized carry-on. From the rear as well, entry and space is really spacious, so it makes it really easy to load. It's not too high up, it's not too narrow, it's just a comfortable general size. If you're going to go to Bunnings and buy something on the weekend, drop the back seats down, chuck what you need to in the back, and you're going to be pretty good to go. The tailgate as well is height adjustable, so if you have a garage that maybe has a lower ceiling, or maybe at work you park in an area where it is low clearance, what you can do is you can actually lower this down, stop it wherever you need it to stop in terms of height, push and hold that a couple of times until you hear a beep, and once you've heard those beeps, that is now programmed to be at that height for opening and closing all the time. So it's going to be super easy for you to customize it to fit your lifestyle. Reverse camera is located just here as well, and like I mentioned previously, you get rear parking sensors as well along the bottom of the car. To close it, just press the button, drop it down, simple as that. One other cool thing with that electric tailgate as well, if the key is in your pocket and the car is locked, as you approach the car, maybe you've got your hands full, what you can do is you can actually just stand behind the car, and it has a smart open system. So what that means is the key will be in your pocket, you'll stand within close proximity of the back, it will indicate and flash 3 times, and then it will open the tailgate for you without you having to do a really weird kick or to press the button. But the button's there if you do want to be old school and press it. Alright, so moving on to the interior. It's a super comfortable place to be. Plenty of space, real airy feel. You got a glass roof on the top to keep light coming in and natural light. It's a 2-tone interior, and I really like it because it's all soft touch materials and it feels premium. The dash is soft touch, and from a center console perspective, this is the bit that we actually got wrong in our 2-wheel drive video. So I made a complaint that this was sitting the whole way back, and that legroom in the middle row in the rear was not that great. Now, I've since been informed that this is obviously adjustable, and I didn't see that when we were playing with the 2-wheel drive the first time. So I want to show that to you now. So basically there's a little handle right at the front, and you can move this to any position along that channel of travel to give people in the rear as much legroom as possible, or to provide a little bit more space at the front here and to put this armrest into a better position for you. The center section here, designed for handbags, bags, whatever you want to have, takeaway bags maybe, where you can just chuck whatever you have just here. Wireless charging pad, 2 fast charge USB ports, and your USB over at the front. The other part with this car is it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well, so you're pretty set to go. Let's move on to the rear and show you how good the back is. So, moving into the rear, as you can see, it's a really comfortable place to be. There's plenty of legroom. This seat is in the full back position, not the driving position for myself. So plenty of space for my knees. However, I can still move the base of the seat backwards or forwards to allow for more cargo room, or just to be able to recline my seat a little bit further back and be able to just chill out and look outside the glass panoramic roof. In the rear as well, you do have ISOFIX ports on the 2 outer seats for any car seats that are in here, some fast charge USB ports down the middle, and some courtesy blinds. So when you close the door, you can open and close these courtesy blinds on the window. If you have any little kids in the back, it'll keep the sun off their face. Or if you don't have kids and it's just you in the back, you can keep the sun off your face. The other thing I really like about this as well is that the air conditioning vents are placed on the sides rather than in the center. What that means is you can get air going around the cabin in the rear rather than just at the middle person's knees, which makes a massive difference on hot days on long road trips. Center armrest comes down so that you can have some cup holders and just another place to put your arm. But there you have it, guys. That's what the all-wheel drive has to offer. That's the different interior on the inside. Hasn't been a massive in-depth video, and it's just been a quick tour and a quick guide of an all-wheel drive Ioniq 5. And the reason for that is we had a really in-depth video for the Ioniq 5 in the 2-wheel drive, and everything carries across minus a couple of things that we've pointed out in this car from a range and performance side of things. So make sure you have a look at that video if you are after some more in-depth information. And just as always, leave a comment with any suggestions you have for us for future videos. Maybe you'd like to see certain models, maybe you have questions around the industry or around some of the product in the industry that you'd like us to cover or to investigate for you. So leave some comments. Until next time.